of all time? No, it's not confidence. It's not charm, game, or making her laugh. And it's not about being 6 feet tall, rich, handsome, or what you're packing in your pants either. Sure, those things help, but there's one thing women want even more. One thing you can do to turn a girl on and make her chase you, even if you're with guys who are taller and better looking than you. It's totally safe and doesn't require you to do anything cringy or awkward. All you have to do is say what I tell you to say at the right time and in the right way, and she'll start flirting with you, touching you, and making it painfully obvious she wants you. And you'll do this without hitting on her, buying her drinks, or trying to impress her in any way whatsoever. I've used this secret female turn-on to sleep with over 350 women and counting, from conservative church girls and girl next door types to big titty goth chicks, Instagram models, and even a well-known adult film star whose name I won't mention here to protect her privacy. My name is Andrew Ryan. You've probably never heard of me, but according to the 25,000 plus guys who have crammed money into my pockets to teach them this secret, I am the people's champ for men in the dating game. I'm 5'9" with a beer belly and a bald spot, but at 36 years old, I get more ass than all of the tall, handsome, Giga Chad athletes you went to school with combined. And no, I'm not rich, and I don't have abs or a big dick. What I do have is big dick energy, thanks to this little known female attraction secret I'll teach you in just a few minutes. All you have to do is slip a few innocent words into normal, everyday conversation, and within about 7 seconds, she'll start giving you those big, helpless, fuck me eyes. Now, I know you might think that's impossible unless you're rich, famous, or extremely handsome, and normally you'd be right. But money and looks are surface level traits, and this secret works below the surface, on an emotional level, which means she'll think dragging you into the bathroom for a quickie was her idea. Every woman's brain is literally hardwired to respond to this simple trick, and that's why it's so controversial. In fact, I might get canceled just for talking about this, which is a shame, because I love and respect women, and I'm guessing you do too. But the truth is, men and women are different. We get turned on in different ways, and in this short video, I'm going to open your eyes to some very big lies you've been told about women, dating, and sex, and show you the truth about what really turns a girl on and makes her chase you. But first, let's just be brutally honest with each other. You're watching this video for one reason, because the girls you want to fuck don't want to fuck you. And if you want that to change, it's now or never. You and I both know if you click away from this video and submit to the mindless distraction of YouTube and social media and whatever else you've got going on in your browser, you won't come back again later. And sometime in the near future, you're going to be face to face with a beautiful girl, and all you'll know how to do is make boring small talk until she gets tired of you and leaves. And you'll be kicking yourself for not having the small amount of self-discipline to just finish this video and discover the secret that could have made her want you. Still here? Good. That means you are the kind of guy I want to help, and I'm sharing this secret with you because no one ever helped me. Before I knew this, I was sexually invisible to women. My tall and handsome friends always used to tell me, bro, it's easy, just make eye contact and say hi. Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to make eye contact when women don't even notice you exist. Whenever I talked to a hot girl, it always felt like she wanted to leave. Some girls were polite, but clearly only saw me as a friend. Others acted bitchy as soon as I said hi, and I would have done anything to make just one of those girls see me as a guy they wanted to sleep with instead of a friend they felt sorry for or a creep they wanted to get away from. I tried everything to make myself more attractive. I bought some new clothes, I joined a gym, I read No More Mr. Nice Guy and The Game, I read every men's magazine and watched every YouTube video from every dating coach and pickup artist I could find. I even tried the 5 love languages and asked the universe to magically manifest a girl into my life, but none of that shit ever worked for me. I almost gave up on women entirely. Then, one night, when I was least expecting it, the answer came walking right up to me in the form of 3 smoking hot college girls in tank tops and booty shorts.
You're hot. Can my friends have a turn with you too?
My jaw dropped to the floor. Could it really be this easy? I was standing in a crowded bar with dozens of drunk people swirling around me when suddenly, as if drawn by some invisible magnet, 3 smoking hot college girls walked up and started grabbing my shirt. My friends stared in envy as these gorgeous girls fought for my attention, rubbed their hands all over me, and did everything in their power to impress me, turn me on, and practically force me to take their phone numbers. And they loved every second of it. Okay, hold up. How did this happen? I already told you, I'm awkward, introverted, and I suck at bars, so why were these girls chasing me so hard? Let's rewind about 6 or 7 beers. See if you can spot what happened. I started my night the same way I always did, getting shit-faced with my buddies so I wouldn't feel so awkward around girls. It wasn't working. To be honest, it never did. It just made me feel bad about myself, and I would usually stumble home drunk, feeling worthless and alone. However, tonight was going to end much better for me because tonight I happened to be wearing a plain white t-shirt. And after a couple drinks, my friends thought it would be funny to get a marker and start drawing all over it. Well, soon enough, a random drunk girl came over and wrote something on my shirt too. And you know what she wrote? Her name and phone number. She was pretty drunk, so I didn't take it too seriously, but a few minutes later, I felt a tap on my shoulder. It was a different girl, this thick Asian chick in a tight white tank top that hugged her every curve. She wanted to write her name and number on me too. Then 2 tomboy twins in Daisy Duke shorts came over. Then some big booty bachelorettes, and the more these girls gathered around me, the more I noticed other girls giving me the eye from across the room. The female attention kept snowballing more and more until finally those 3 college girls came over and started grabbing my shirt and flirting with me like crazy. "You're hot," said the blonde. "Can we have a turn too?" And as I stood there in the middle of that bar, surrounded by beautiful women, touching me, flirting with me, eagerly writing down their names and numbers, suddenly a little light bulb flicked on in my mind, and I finally started to understand the #1 female turn on, the reason why this was happening, why these girls were chasing me so hard. Have you figured it out yet? You might think this whole white t-shirt thing was nothing but a silly gimmick, and I thought so too, but here's where it gets really interesting. Every one of these girls stuck around to chat with me for hours, and all I did was stand there making normal conversation. You know, what do you do for work type of stuff. The kind of conversation everyone says is boring and unattractive, and yet they loved me. They flirted with me, they laughed at my corny dad jokes, they asked me tons of questions and genuinely tried to get to know me. They even interrupted each other to grab my attention, competing with their best friends just to look a little more attractive in my eyes, like I was a prize they were trying to win, even though I wasn't doing anything, just standing there and being myself. Have you started to see it yet? The real reason these girls liked me so much? I remember when it finally clicked for me. It was like a veil had been lifted from my eyes and I could finally see the code behind the matrix. These women didn't care that I wasn't 6 feet tall, alpha, and making them laugh. And they didn't care about any of the other guys trying to hit on them either. They only cared about one thing. Other girls seemed to like me, so they liked me too. Instantly, automatically, without even thinking about it. It was never really about me at all. It was about the female competition for me. I woke up the next morning with that Asian chick from the bar snuggled up in my arms, naked. My mind was blown. I never got girls as hot as her before. On my own, I'm probably a 5 to most girls, maybe a 6 with a fresh fit and a new haircut, but last night I was easily a 9, maybe even a 10, all because of a little female competition. From that moment on, all I could think was, how can I make this happen again? How can I use female competition to make girls chase me like that anytime I wanted? I already knew about social proof, how women care a lot about other women's opinions, and people always used to tell me that women want what they can't have, but how could this actually help me? How could I turn this into something I could use? I was obsessed. And when I get obsessed about something, I can't stop until I find answers. So I read No More Mr. Nice Guy and The Game. I listened to pickup podcasts. I went through every men's magazine and YouTube video I could find. But no one out there was talking about this. It was all just sleazy pickup tactics to trick women into thinking you're alpha, or lame dating advice like be an active listener and approach her in 3 seconds. And my personal favorite, just go for it. The worst that can happen is she says no. It was really hard to find anyone who actually gets what it's like to be a single guy right now, and I was almost ready to give up. Then, one day at work, I found an article from famous neuroscientist John Maynor proving that what I witnessed in the bar that night was no fluke. It's a proven scientific fact. Jealousy is a powerful aphrodisiac proven to elevate female sex hormones. Wait, so the #1 female turn-on is jealousy? Pretty crazy, right? But the science was clear. 97% of women are uncontrollably turned on by jealousy and female competition. It's a biological instinct programmed by millions of years of evolution. When you make her jealous, her brain practically forces her to chase you. Now, I know that might sound strange, but guess what? You actually know this already. You've seen it before, many times. You just didn't know it. Having Haven't you ever noticed that women always treat you better when you're with other women? Think about it. You could be invisible by yourself, but the moment you get a girlfriend, a wife, or even a female friend or a coworker, girls instantly notice you and like you more. You've seen that happen before, right? Well, there's a scientific reason why that happens. Over millions of years, the female brain evolved this weird mental shortcut to always chase the men that other women were chasing. It's nature's way of playing it safe, so she doesn't take a risk and sleep with the wrong man. But if other women are already sleeping with a man, she'll feel a powerful urge to copy their choice and sleep with him too. Neuroscientists call this mate choice copying, but I like to call it the Bachelor effect because it explains why women love dating competition shows like The Bachelor. You know, where 20 women all compete for one man. Did you know there's a multi-million-dollar formula behind that show? A formula that taps into the natural female desire for competition and jealousy. No wonder it's had 24 seasons and 5.1 million women watch it every week. They just keep running the same winning formula with the same proven psychology I just told you about, and women can't help but go crazy for it every single time. Once I learned that, I started watching every episode of that show and taking notes. I wanted to see if I could decode this formula and apply it to my dating life. And the more I watched, the more I could see the patterns. I took pages of notes and wrote down dozens of examples. Then I dove into the psychology behind these shows to discover why women are so hooked on female competition and how I could create the same effect in normal, everyday conversation. Remember, I needed something I could actually use. I tore through research journals, psychology books, TED Talks, YouTube videos, anything that could help me understand how to turn a woman on right from the moment she first meets me. And little by little, piece by piece, I started forming an entirely new dating strategy. A strategy that ignored all the surface level stuff women say they want from a guy and instead used the Bachelor effect and the psychology of jealousy and female competition to turn a girl on and make her chase you without changing anything about what you look like or who you are. A week passed, then two. By the end of that month, I had a list as long as my arm. Only the simplest behaviors, words, or questions I could use in my conversations with a woman to make her chase me. And keep her chasing me, from hello all the way to the bedroom. I felt kind of awkward at first, but I had nothing to lose. If this psychology could drive millions of women crazy, the least it could do is get a girl to text me back. So that's what I used it for. I looked up the last girl who flaked on me, Paige. She stopped replying to my text weeks ago, and when it happened, I told myself, she's out of my league. I never really had a chance anyways. But now, I was finally ready to drop that self-defeating bullshit and find out what I was really made of. So I texted her a simple 3-word question I learned from my research. And wouldn't you know it, she texted back in minutes, apologized for never getting back to me, and agreed to meet me for a date. Then we met for drinks, and I started feeling shy. I could see her getting bored, looking at her phone and losing interest in me, so I went to the bathroom and I looked at my notes. Then I came back, sat down, and casually dropped this innocent 7-word phrase. The girlfriend phrase I learned. My pulse raced for a moment, but I knew it worked. When she put her phone away, her eyes got wide, and she stared at me like a groupie stares at her favorite rock star. It was like a switch had been flipped, and all of a sudden, she was the one acting shy, trying to impress me, asking me questions about myself, trying to make me laugh, inching closer and closer so she could touch me. From that point on, it was like I could do nothing wrong. I kept nudging the conversation along with a few tiny tricks and techniques I'd created, and she kept moving closer and closer, rubbing her hands on my leg, rocking her hips against mine. She bit her lip and stared down at my crotch, and my heart started pounding, terrified I might say something awkward. And then she made the move on me. She leaned in, and suddenly her lips were on mine, her tongue was sliding into my mouth, then she was pulling me into a cab with a naughty grin on her face, and it only took 30 seconds inside her apartment before she was undoing my belt buckle and dropping to her knees to please me. That night, she gave herself to me completely, begging me to choke her, grinning while I spanked her, moaning as I pulled her hair and pushed her face into the pillow, screaming my name and calling me daddy as I tossed her around and had my way with her over and over again. The next morning, she confessed to me, I hope you don't think I'm a slut. I never do this, but I'm so glad it happened with you. That's something I would soon be hearing from women all the time, because the Bachelor effect was real and it kept working over and over again. You see, after I slept with Paige, I realized how insecure and clingy I had been in the past, and I decided to stay single and date lots of other women until I knew I had erased every last bit of neediness from my behavior. And you know what? The more you act like you have an abundance of women in your life, the more it actually starts to happen. It really is true. When women think there's competition for you, they will chase you. For the next year, I went on a rampage, perfecting my methods and sleeping with well over 100 girls. To be honest, I lost count after a while. It didn't matter to me. And when I look back on all my experiences, one thing became crystal clear to me. The truth about women, dating, and sex that I wish someone would have told me years ago. And if you have ever struggled to keep a girl's interest or get her to see you as more than a friend, then listen up, because this one thing will change everything for you. Here it is. In every sexual relationship, there are two roles, the chaser and the chooser. The chaser is the one doing most of the work. work, making conversation, asking questions, giving compliments, sending texts. And the chooser is the one with most of the power, sitting back and letting it come to them, keeping their options open, deciding yes or no. Which one are you? If you're like 95% of men, you're the chaser. You're doing all the work and you're giving her all the power. And that, my friend, is the number one reason you aren't getting laid. You're chasing her. If a girl has ever rejected you, ignored your texts, or told you, let's just be friends, even if it seemed like she was into you at first, then I can almost guarantee it was because you were chasing her. And the more you chase a girl, the more she'll run away from you. But what if you could flip that whole dynamic on its head? What if she were the one chasing you for a change? So instead of fizzling out and losing her after a few messages or a few days, now she's texting you nonstop and asking if you're free for a date tonight or if she can come over and watch a movie in bed with you. And instead of boring, logical conversations that go nowhere but the friend zone, now she's hitting on you, touching you, and making it painfully obvious she wants to sleep with you. That's what the Bachelor effect can do for you, just like it's done for so many other guys. At first, I had no plans to share this secret with anyone else, but then I had lunch with my friend Chris, and he told me about a girl who got his hopes up and then ghosted him. So I wrote up a short cheat sheet with some of my best techniques, and I gave it to him. 3 days later, he texted me this. A week ago, she wouldn't return my texts. Now, she's coming over to cook me dinner and let me have her for dessert. And it would have ended there, but then Chris passed the cheat sheet along to a coworker of his named Brian. Brian had it even worse. His ex had dumped him over a year ago, and he hadn't been laid since. That same week, he went out to a strip club and had this beautiful dancer forcing her number into his phone and coming over after work to give him the ride of his life. And then, I guess the word got out, and the secret got shared around our circle of friends. And again, they raved about the Bachelor effect. How it was like flipping a switch in a woman's mind from turned off to turned on. How conversations just opened up once they learned these simple techniques. I think Matt said it best. I thought the girls chasing guys thing was a myth. Wow, girls will chase you if they like you. I have never gotten these types of texts from girls before. A bunch of, what are you doing tonight? Kiss emojis. Wow, you're really cute. One girl even tried to kiss me first. Dude, there's a whole other world being lived out here. Yes, there is a whole other world being lived out here. And I started to feel a sense of duty to help other guys who were struggling, just like I was. So we spent months taking all of my research and experience and turning it into one simple, easy to follow manual. A manual we ended up calling Make Girls Chase You because, well, that's what it's done again and again. Helped regular, ordinary guys get beautiful women chasing them into bed. Which brings us to now and brings us to you experiencing these mind-blowing results for yourself. Make Girls Chase You is the result of over a year of hands-on research, field testing, and hard work. Hard work I already did for you. And before I could share my weird but ethical secrets for getting hot girls chasing you, I knew the manual would have to accomplish 3 things. First, it had to tell you the truth about dating and sex that's been hidden from you by the media, your parents, your peers, anyone who ever lied to you, intentionally or not, about what women really want. Second, it had to be easy, as close to as done for you as possible, so you never have to feel anxious about what to say, what the next step is, or if you're doing it right. And third, it had to work fast, so any guy could take this material and use it right away to achieve the same stunning results you've seen here today in just 5 to 10 minutes of talking to a girl, even if it's been years since you got laid and you've got zero confidence right now. Like I said, I set the bar pretty high for this, and in just a second, you're gonna have a chance to download the exact words, phrases, and techniques that will make her chase you, and to finally take back the power and control in your dating life for good. But only if you promise, right now, to erase every bit of crap you ever learned from pickup artists, men's magazines, and romantic movies, to listen with an open mind and actually try what you learn, and to use this power for good, to make women incredibly happy and grateful they met you, and to always leave girls better than you found them. If you can agree to that, then the next 5 minutes will be the most eye-opening, transformational experience of your entire life. But if you can't agree to my terms, well, thanks for watching, but this is the end of the road for you. Please close this page so the next guy in line can have your spot. Still here? All right, then let me show you exactly what you're getting. First, you'll discover 7 innocent words that make girls chase you. I call this the girlfriend phrase because it taps into a woman's natural desire for a committed, romantic relationship and links that desire to you. Guys rave about this. It's actually the #1 reason they join the program, and that's before I give you the master list of 10 techniques that trigger the Bachelor effect, using the shocking psychology of jealousy and female competition. This is why women always chase the guys they think other women want, and now they're going to be chasing you. Next, you'll discover the 5-word question you should never ask a woman if you want her to sleep with you, become your girlfriend, or see you as anything more than just a friend. Next, you'll get the magic F word that makes a girl 3 times more likely to chase you. Just drop this in conversation with a girl you're interested in and watch how quickly she starts flirting with you and trying to turn you on. Tired of asking question after question and feeling like you're doing all the work? Ask her the qualifying question to get her to open up and actually invest in the conversation. It's crazy to me that more guys don't know about this. The difference is night and day. It's also crazy guys don't know the truth about